Do you know what you need to list a house? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Rosemary Lewis, your educator agent with eXp Realty, and today I am going to tell you the basic things you need to actually list a house. Before we get into it though, you already know the deal. And first of all, thank you to all of you all who have subscribed to the channel. You've shared my channel with your real estate besties, and y'all are actually messaging me on social media. Absolutely love it. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that, and then thumbs up. Hit the like button so that the homies at YouTube know that you actually are benefiting from this information. And please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the video and tell me, are you doing these things? Do you have everything for your listing appointments? Let's get into it. So if you've been rocking with me for the past couple weeks, you know that we have been talking all about listings, from how to get listings to what to say before you go to your appointment to preparing for the appointment. And today we're going to talk about what do you actually need in order to list a home, because one of the most unsettling things will be that you have someone ready to list and you don't have any of the things. No worries, your homegirl has you, and I'm going to just share with you a few of the basic things that you need in order to list a home. So the very first thing that you need, y'all, is a signed listing agreement. Now, I know that this may seem like, do I? Trust me, you do. Because just because someone says, yeah, I want you to go ahead and list my home. Listing is an upfront investment from the real estate agent. So before you start spending money on the things that I'm going to tell you about, you want to make sure that the seller has actually legally agreed that you are going to be representing them for the sale of their home. So very first thing that you need is a signed listing agreement, and make sure that that listing agreement is signed by all owners, all parties, all stakeholders in the property. Okay, the next thing that you need in order to list a home is MLS access. So the MLS is your local multiple listing service, and you need to have a membership that allows you the capability of listing homes. Make sure that your seller gave you permission to market the home on the MLS. And if they chose that option, you have to have your MLS credentials in order to do so. So I would speak to your broker. If you're not sure about that, I would go to the MLS board. And the beautiful thing about a lot of our MLS boards is that they also have classes. So if you've never listed a property and you're not familiar with all of the information that you need to gather in order to input the listing, there are forms for that to help guide you. And you can even do a class before you get your first listing so that you know how to do it. But then if you're in a crunch, your broker should always be able to help you. And if you're not at a brokerage where someone will help you, holla at your girl, okay? All right, the next thing that you need for a listing is you need to have a sign. So you need to have a sign, some type of advertisement in order to show at the property about you. Now, my signs have my face. Actually, when I get new signs, I'm not gonna put my face on there. So my signs, my original signs, they have my face on it. I have some without my face. It just really depends. Make sure that you have permission from your seller, because some sellers don't want a sign in the yard, which is a-okay. If they do not want a sign to be in the yard, just put that in the MLS so that any agents that are coming to see the home don't think they've missed it because there's not a sign. But a sign is a great way to let neighbors know that the home is for sale. Once we start farming neighborhoods, we want them to consistently see our signs. And it's just a great way to have more brand awareness for yourself while also marketing the property for your seller. Another thing that you need to list a home is a lockbox. Now, I personally use a Supra key, okay? And I use the Supra. I did a video a while ago that shows you all how to open and access the Supra box. And I use the Supra because it can only be accessed by a real estate agent. Again, I'm going to tell you to refer to your listing agreement. Make sure that you explain to your client exactly what the super does, explain to them how it works, and get their permission in order to use it. And these super boxes you can normally buy at your MLS board. Once you pay for it once, you have it forever. And it is just a secure way to know who's coming in and out of the property. Now, speaking of the super box, when you put a key inside the super box, you need to ask the sellers for a spare key. I get the key ring where I can write the address of the property of the key. And let me tell you why this is super duper clutch. Because number one, you are going to be listing so many houses. You do not want to get the keys confused on your own. But real estate agents have it rough, and sometimes you get forgetful, right? I have known agents to, go out and show one of my listings, lock the door, push the super back in, but put the key in their pocket. So at the end of the day, if they've shown 6 homes, they're like, oh my goodness, which home did I forget to put the key back in? So by you having the address here for the key, it lets the agents know, and it's a good marker for you to know what home the key belongs to. But this is why it's important to keep up with the super key, because this address is on this key ring, right? So we want to make sure. I would never use this if I had just a regular old lockbox with a code or anything, because I want to always be able to connect who accessed the box with the key to the real estate agent that made the appointment. Now, speaking of an appointment, you need to know how you are going to handle the scheduling of showings. Now, there is a section in the MLS where you put on your showing instructions. So if you're going to be the person that is coordinating the schedule between the seller and potential buyers and sellers and their realtors, you need to put your information. Or if you're going to choose to use a scheduling service, you also need to put that information and have a relationship and an account with that service. I personally use a showing service just because for my sellers, I never want them to be dependent on my schedule for buyers to get into an appointment. So I'll give you a prime example. Once I had a listing and I was on a plane going out of town. So there was a 2.5-hour period where if someone was calling or texting me to get access to a property, it would have looked like I ghosted them. So instead of having that maybe happen, I go ahead and I pay for the scheduling service so that I make sure that potential buyers and sellers that are working with real estate agents are always able to schedule the appointment. And here's the last thing that I think you really, really need when you are listing a home. Death to the camera phone photos, okay? You need to hire a photographer and not just your homeboy who shot your birthday party, because photographers that shoot still objects, real estate, understand lighting, are much different from you with your camera phone in portrait mode or your friend with a nice camera. So I'm going to encourage you all to make the investment and get professional photography. Like, that is non-negotiable to get it done. And I'm even going to encourage you to consider videography, to video showcase the property, even if you just do. Now, I will say I do a lot of video myself of my listings because I feel like it's giving me a lot of organic traffic, but I also back them up with professional photography. So make sure that you have a professional photographer. I'm going to refer you to your broker, and that's why you have real estate besties. See who your friends are using, someone who fits in your budget that can deliver great photos for your property. So y'all, these are just a few real estate basics that you need just to get you started listing. And I've shared before, I actually got my very first listing because without having anybody in the pipeline, I just took the plunge and I invested in signs. And lo and behold, the person that rang me up for my sign was my very first listing. So I know that these things that you need to list a home are an investment, But remember, this is a business, right? And you invest in your business. I would be very upset if I went to Chick-fil-A for a chicken sandwich and they didn't have any chicken because the manager didn't order any. So we have to stay ready so that we don't have to get ready, so that when the opportunities that we go out and get, the listings that we are working so hard for, once they begin to come to fruition, we have everything that we need to make it a seamless process. Now, if you've made it to the end of this video and you are not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing with your life? Go ahead, get yourself together, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you haven't already downloaded my 10 habits for highly, not whack, but highly successful real estate agents, go ahead to my website, rosemarylewis.com/freebie in order to get that. I'm live on Instagram every week, every Thursday at 10 a.m. And I'm here every Tuesday with a brand new video for you. Talk to you soon.